Oh yeah, before you do anything, you gotta make sure there's no air bubbles in the clay. So that's what this is. It's a wedging table.
So who are you and where are we? What were you doing?
Oh, hey. I'm Steve Avery. It's my lovely wife, English.
Nice,
and
English.
my brother is filming.
Yeah.
Matt Avery. And Matt Avery is going to be the first person to throw a pot in the new studio.
I am excited. It's my art lesson.
It's your first art lesson.
My first art lesson.
So this is the wedging table here. Yep. You can see it's canvas, unfinished canvas, so it sucks up the moisture and keeps the clay from sticking to it.
Oh, it's canvas. Okay.
Yeah. And here's going to be a wire. I haven't done it yet, but there's a wire that stretches like this so that you can cut the clay as you're working.
Okay. So will you cut it with your hands at this point?
Right, I use a wire.
Yeah, but I mean, you can use it just
okay. So I just cut it as I need it.
All right.
So we're going to start you out. I don't know how much exactly this is, but this is probably about 1.5 pounds of clay.
Okay.
I guess I'll show you first, and then we're going to jump in.
All right. I think for the moment, I'm just going to hold the camera, and so I can track you and kind of zoom in and stuff, and then when I do it, we'll put it in the tripod. This is my trusty Brent C wheel that I bought way back in college. And it's not plugged in yet. How many pots do you think you've made in your lifetime, Steve?
Oh, not as many as I should have because kids.
That's like saying I weigh too much. Like I not as much as, you know, how much do you weigh? Oh, I weigh too much. How many pots? Not as many as I should have. It's like saying I don't work out enough.
Well, I've probably made 200 pots, but if you're a professional potter, you could make 200 pots in a week.
Well, that's what's coming next for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, so here's the deal, right? The whole thing about throwing is being able to brace yourself so that your hands and elbows and stuff don't move around.
Okay.
Right, so, and the other thing is you're constantly applying pressure, but you have to apply pressure slowly. You never ever want to just like, right? So as it's spinning, you're constantly like guiding it slowly. So everything you do, you're gonna lock your elbows on your hips, and then whenever you do stuff to shape the clay, I'll show you how to put your hands in different positions. But they'll be like, for instance, in this case, these fingers are wrapped around the side, so it helps keep this stable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, locking stuff together.
Yeah, you're constantly, or like if I'm doing this, I'm pushing against the palm of my hand here, so that again it's stable.
It's very much like clay kung fu.
Clay kung fu, yeah. So it's actually it's more like riding a bike. Okay. So when you're first riding a bike, you're real wobbly, and then you discover that when I speed up, it's a lot faster to go. You know,
it's a little more stable.
Yeah, and we're stable. So the same thing happens here. The first thing you got to do is you got to make the clay really, really uniform, and it's called centering the clay. You throw it down the middle, right?
Is this why it's called throwing a pot?
Maybe. You throw the clay down the thing, right?
You said throwing a pot. Yeah, you threw it. You threw it. Okay. And you got a gas pedal?
Yeah,
not really gas pedal, but
that's what the old ones used to be kick, and there'd be a big weight at the bottom.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, anyways.
And you wet your hands?
When you center it, you're gonna center in zones. You don't just grab it and try to. Like I'll make the side. First thing I do for me is I'm gonna make the top flat.
Okay.
Right. So I'm using the palm of my hand here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on that to see if we can see what's happening. I'm not even trying to make the sides smooth yet. I'm just trying to make the top even. So my elbows, and you can see I got my hands like this, so that this piece right here does not move around a lot. Okay. And so you're
just gonna make the top flat.
Just making the top flat, right? Just making the top flat. And you can see even though I'm trying, my hand's still rocking a little bit, right?
Yeah, because it's...
Yeah. Now the water, the more water you use, the slipperier it is and the easier it is, but if you get the place too wet, then it becomes saturated water and then it won't hold its form when you're throwing. Okay. Right, so you want to...
on the gas pedal, like, are you...
Right now I'm going full speed.
You're full speed and you're making it flat on top.
But yeah, and you can see the top, actually, it's right now...
I'm trying to get
the top.
It's all...
top is pretty flat. The sides are still bumpy, but this part's flat.
Yeah, a little bit like a magic trick because it looks like you're providing cover for the magic trick, and then you pull your boom, you pull your hands away, so and then oh look, the top's flat.
So then we're gonna do the sides, right? So again, I'm gonna center in zones. I'm not gonna try to do the whole side, you know, but I'll probably do like start at the bottom and then pull my hand up. And as I do that, I'm pressing on this to kind of help keep my fingers from.
And you're still full speed ahead on the throttle.
Well, gotta wobble, gotta shimmy.
Gotta shimmy.
And I'm pretty rusty, so I haven't thrown a pot in years.
This is the first. So what's happening here? I'm gonna fill in while you're doing this.
It's still got a little of a shimmy at the bottom. Everything else is centered. You can see how the bottom's kind of wobbling, but the top is all even.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that.
I can kind of see.
Now sometimes potters hold a sponge in their hand while they're doing it, and that keeps it moist without getting too wet.
Okay.
Right, to help. Okay, and then when you pull your hands away, you also want to pull them like gently because you can unbalance it. Now it's pretty centered. Okay. Still got a tiny wobble. Right. Okay. Now at this point, I'm gonna have you jump in. We're sweat. Well, actually, I'll need to have English hold the phone or put it in the tripod or something.
Yeah, we'll do something like that. So now I'm gonna
stop it and put it. Yeah.
Well, wait, I don't have to go through the. You're like you set me up and now I'm taking over.
Well, if we do another one, you can center the next one.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
So, but you're gonna drop the hole, which is fun. That's the fun part. Your legs to be wrapped around that little. Yep, exactly. Touch and put your foot on the pedal. Move the pedal where it's comfortable. All right. Okay. So
does it need to be touching there?
Well, it doesn't, but as long as you're comfortable, you can still control it without moving your leg around. Does that make sense?
I think I got it.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get your hands wet. Okay.
Okay.
And then just spin it and put your hands on it, just to feel this, just. Okay. So here we go. We're gonna actually drop the hole now.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen is this hand, this finger is gonna ride down the middle like that. You're gonna slowly push down.
Okay.
Right. And then while you're doing it, you're gonna put your other hand like this so that let's see. You're gonna bend this.
Yeah.
And you want to support this hand while it's going down. Does that make sense? You can do that, or you can do it from the other side. Either way.
Okay. So I do pressure on this finger.
I usually do like this, where these hands are like this and like this. Does that make sense? Like this is vertical. This is vertical, and then this drops down. Okay. Because your hand moves less this way than it does that way. Does that make sense?
It moves less this way.
Okay. So my arm's actually braced. This hand is braced.
Okay.
And if you put pressure like this way, it's less likely to move than if your hand's like this.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right?
So like an I-beam.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an I-beam.
Yep, and then we put a lot of wire in the middle.
Okay.
You're going to spin it very fast.
Whoa, is that too much?
And you're going to start dropping the hole down the middle. Whoop. You want to go down till it hits like 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. And gently pull your hand away. Right? Okay, now what we're going to do is you're going to brace your hands together.
Yeah.
And we're going to slow it down a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a pull. Pull is like this. You're from the bottom.
Yeah.
And you're pulling. You're basically squeezing gently. You're going to go on this side. You're gently squeezing on both sides. And then a little slower. gently pulling, you're gonna pull the clay up as you go. It almost feels like you're pulling a ring up. Is that?
How can you? It seems like it's dragging on my fingers. Need more water, or?
Yeah, well, it's water. If you want, okay, hold on one second. I'm gonna even this out. And you got a lot of clay down here. So what you're gonna do now, just watch this. I'm not gonna do it, but I'll pull like this.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're trying to push this clay while you're trying to keep this hand steady. That make sense?
To try to.
And don't worry if you break it. Just make another one. Slower.
Feels like the wall's getting thin.
Okay, put your hand away. Yeah, so here I'm gonna pull this up a little bit. And then every time you do that, you usually will take the sponge and even off the top a little bit. We still have a lot of clay right down here.
Okay.
Whereas this is about the right thing. It could be a little bit thinner, but this is about, so you want to get the clay at the very bottom. That's where you're pushing. You can try holding the sponge if you want to. That might help. Brace your hands together if you can.
I'm getting a secondary like cup in the middle.
Okay, pull your finger up. Yeah, you're actually digging your finger into the clay.
So you push that back down?
Yeah. Push that down. What I want you to do is try to slide your finger across the bottom like this.
Okay.
And then, oops, that doesn't work. Pull away and slowly.
Wobbling now.
Let's straighten that a little bit. Okay, so now that you got
straight, how did you? It was wobbling. How did you straighten it?
I put my hands like this, and I just pulled them up so that I wasn't really pressing that much. I was just kind of guiding it. Okay, so now that you have a cylinder, you can make almost any form from this. You can make a bottle, you can make a bowl, you can make a cup, but you start with a cylinder like this. Okay. So what do you want to make?
Yeah, let's make a cup. It looks like a cup already.
It does look like.
Oh, done. That was easy.
Actually, we can make a cup out of that if you want. Okay. If you're gonna make a cup, let's pay particular attention to the rim, so that you have a nice smooth rim to drink off of.
Okay.
Right. So when you think about it, do you want like a fat rim to drink from, or do you want more a narrow rim?
More of a narrow rim.
Right. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna guide your fingers like this on either side.
Yeah.
Then it makes a channel, and then this part holds the top, and you can shape it depending on how you hold your fingers. Okay. That make sense?
Yeah.
You can make it thinner. I just made it thinner. The other thing you can do is this little bit of shimmy, what is it called? I gotta find it. Oh, I have to find it. Okay, you're making kind of a bulge. So let's push that back in. Now take this, guide your finger to the outside, take this and mash it across the top like that. Oops.
Guide my finger to the outside, mash this across the top.
Good. So getting kind of this flower pot shape here. The other thing you do is, if you want, you can use a rib to create shapes, and they just drag along the outside, and we'll give us more of a straight shape.
So I made a flower pot.
so here, we're going to go ahead and finish off your cup here. You're going to take this. That's right. You're going to take this and you're going to spin it about medium speed.
Okay.
And you're going to slowly cut at a diagonal. Now, you got to keep it straight or else it'll yank out of your hand. You're going to cut in here, right there, at a diagonal. Cut that extra clay off. Like this. Here, wait. Try holding it like a pencil.
Yeah.
And you brace your hand on the edge, and you're just going to cut at a diagonal.
Okay.
Into that. No problem. You can do it with just one hand. Well, that's fine. So you hit the board. Good. Now carefully put away. And now you're going to scrape away the extra clay. You're real slow. Slower than that. Well, I got some gunk on the side. Alright. So, now we're going to cut it off. And what you do is, while it's going real slow, or not even move if you don't want, but here, let's do this too, that it's got a little bit of a bump on it.
Go faster.
A little bit faster. Okay. So you can do it while it's really slow, or you can do it when it's not moving at all, and you're just going to pull through the bottom. Just make sure you keep those pushed against the bat.
Okay.
There you go. Pull real quickly. Boom, you got it. Okay, so now we're going to pull a handle for this.
Pull a handle. Okay.
Yeah, because it's a coffee cup, right?
Okay.
And you're just going to start pulling this like this, gently. And the idea is you're trying to make this about the same thickness all the way down.
Okay.
You're thinning out, making. You can see that's way too thick for a handle, right?
You're right.
I'll do one too. It takes a little bit of practice to do these.
So why don't you just continue to roll it?
You get a prettier handle if you pull it.
Okay.
You can do that. You can just roll out a coil.
Yeah.
And you can.
I mean,
If you
I
do
think
that,
candid, this feels a little obscene.
yeah, it is. All right, so look, if you want to just roll out a handle, you can do that, and you try to make it as uniform as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to shape it into a question mark, like this, like this.
All right.
Because you want to touch here. Like if you try to touch it this way,
Right.
there's very little surface area that's touching the.
Right.
So this way, you'll get a much better.
Okay, got it.
And
So you're
maybe we'll be
actually going to let it dry and make something out of it?
yeah, you're gonna make your cup, right?
Wait, come on over here for a second.
You won't get it yet, though. It's gonna have to.
No, you gotta fire it, and so we got 3 options for handles. Tell me what you said about the clay shrinking.
Oh, it shrinks 10%. So even though this is big, this is.
Yeah, I mean that's a giant mug. It's for soup. It's a soup mug.
At 10% smaller though, it's not gonna be huge.
Okay. So I had a real hard time trying to get like these are 3 options for the handle, and I had a hard time getting it even. So actually, Steven made all 3 of those. We're gonna look at the kiln. Where'd you go? There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Show us what this is.
That's my kiln,
Yeah.
which I bought off of a friend at a great price. So thank you very much, AJ. And actually, the girl he sent it to. Have a moment.
Just show me around the kiln for a sec. It's very.
Okay, well, this is the old-fashioned kiln. The old
Okay.
kilns use a kiln sitter, which is this little thing right here. And what you do is you put on the inside, you put a little cone in there. Oh, it's missing the 2 little slats. I'll need those.
Okay.
Anyways, there's 2 little slats that sit right here. and the kiln sits on top of that, and when it melts, this thing drops. So it's like this. Right? So as it gets hot enough, all the cones are designed to melt at different temperatures. So it trips the kiln.
And that tells you...
The cone melts.
Okay.
It melts, and then it drops that little rod and trips the cone. The new ones are all pyrometers.
Okay.
Which make them expensive.
Right, got it.
And then this is my...
But that old school system, though, is pretty foolproof. I mean, it's always going to melt at the same temperature, right?
Yeah.
And what is a cone made out of?
Clay.
Okay.
Types of clay.
Okay.
That melt at different temperatures.
And one of the things that I was intrigued at was like, I thought I saw this thing, it's like 2 inches thick. It looks like it would be heavy, but it's super light. The fire brick is really, really light because it's what? It's just fire brick.
Yeah, it's a brick it's got very porous. There's lots of holes in it.
Okay.
And so it's actually really, really light, and all that air inside the brick is what keeps the insulation.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then that's my laser cutter, which I haven't done a whole lot with.
That has nothing to do with throwing pots. It's just another thing to make stuff out with.
Another stuff.
Yeah.
And then my new furnace.
Baby. Your new baby.
Smelter slash.
We're gonna melt metal in that next time.
It's too wet right now. We just put the cement on.
Okay.
You can see, and this is the crucible, which interestingly enough is made out of graphite, the same thing that you draw with. See, look. It's a giant pencil.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and these are all my tools that come with it.
This is all right.
I got the spoon to scoop off the slag, and this is the
tongs and the
pouring tongs, which are to grab the crucible when it's hot. This is a little too small. I need to bend these out just a little bit.
Okay.
But you can see.
It looks like it's gonna work.
Yeah, again, if you can see, if I can just bend it a little bit more, it'll work.
I see. Yeah.
And frankly, that little lip, this is supposed to go over the lip of to help.
That's supposed to go over the lip.
Yeah. So
on the top.
Yeah, and it helps. So when you pour.
Got it. So the tongs just need to modify the diameter.
Yeah,
those tongs just
if I just heat those up and bend them just a little bit, I think it'll be an okay fit. See, you can see it's just a little. Right. So that's everything, man.
Okay. Thank you so much.